Happening now, the warning from police ahead of this Memorial Day weekend. Plus, Jamestown High School's graduation is a go. We have the details next.
Well, if you look outside, you can tell it is a wet Friday out there, but it's all needed rain. We'll talk about how long the rain will last, plus the Memorial Day weekend coming up as the news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
If you plan to indulge with alcoholic beverages this weekend, law enforcement in Chautauqua County is reminding you to not get behind the wheel. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The Stop DWI enforcement campaign starts today and will run through Tuesday in an effort to crack down on impaired drivers over this holiday weekend. According to the Institute for Traffic Safety Management and Research, 251 people were killed and more than 5,000 injured in drunk driving-related crashes in 2019 across New York State. Police are asking residents to simply have a plan to get from their holiday gatherings back to home safely. A new smartphone app from AAA called Have a Plan is available to help find safe rides no matter where you might be celebrating. To download and learn more, you can visit stopdwi.org/mobile app. Now, drivers can also expect to see sobriety checkpoints and increased patrols across the state this weekend. Well, with states across the country loosening their COVID restrictions, many are eager to travel over Memorial Day. Experts saying we may see an unprecedented number of travelers since the pandemic began. Daryl Forges has the latest for us from AAA.
The hustle and bustle of holiday travel. Americans are gearing up for the unofficial start of summer, with more than half of adults fully vaccinated in the U.S., and the CDC easing guidance.
AAA forecasts 37 million people are going to travel by plane, by car, by bus.
AAA says that's a 60% increase in travelers compared to last year. Millions are expected to hit the road. One of the biggest issues for drivers, gas prices. The national average is a little over $3 a gallon, the highest since 2014.
Rather than going as far as they had originally planned, they may alter their trip to travel not quite as far. But regardless of how expensive gas prices are, that's not going to keep people from traveling and taking those road trips this summer.
While most will take to the roads, many are also taking to the skies.
Over this holiday weekend, we are expecting 65 to 70,000 passengers per day through our checkpoints.
Travelers will notice increased security at airports beginning this weekend. TSA is also adjusting staffing to accommodate more traffic through security checkpoints. Even though things seem to be getting back to normal, the pandemic isn't over yet, so it's important to plan ahead and stay safe.
If you're going to a hotel, are all the amenities open? Some pools are closed, not every dining room is open. If you're traveling to the airport, make sure parking lots are open.
In Atlanta, I'm Daryl Forges.
Daryl, thank you. Now, before you hit the road, you should know that gas prices in the Jamestown area are about $3.02 a gallon. Well, Jamestown High School's graduation ceremony is returning to the Chautauqua Institution Amphitheater this summer. School officials tell WNY News Now a previously imposed attendance cap was preventing the district from hosting its ceremony. Specifically, the school believed that the cap created a barrier for the district to host a memorable and, more important, inclusive graduation for seniors and their families. In a letter to the state's health department, the School Board of Education pointed out that sporting events have been allowed under New York guidelines up to 500 vaccinated or unvaccinated or untested spectators outside, yet graduations in those same facilities under the same conditions and in the same locations are limited to more than half of that. Well, the state's now revised their guidelines. The district is planning to hold two ceremonies on Friday, June 25th at 4 o'clock and 7:30 p.m. Each will honor up to 150 graduates, with each student getting 3 tickets for their family members. There will be a process in place for requesting additional tickets as well. An iconic ferry is returning to Chautauqua Lake this weekend after years of repairs to this historic vessel. WNY News Now's Jason Ruttman with more.
Come out and ride the ferry this summer. We'd love to have you.
The Bemis Point Stowe Ferry is back and better than ever after a 3-year hiatus. The 90-year-old boat, which operates on two steel cables utilizing two large side-mounted paddle wheels for locomotion, was in need of some major tune-ups and improvements after the 2018 season.
It basically had a problem with leakage from the top deck into the lower hull. So there was rust on the inside, not on the outside, the inside of the hull, and that needed to be replaced.
Jay Kuntz, the co-president of the Bemis Point Stowe Ferry Board of Directors, explains a 96 square foot piece of the hull was replaced and the deck was restored to prevent leakage. The boat then underwent 4 inspections before returning to the water. The ferry is not only historic, but unique.
We're one of 2 cable ferries in New York State.
Unlike most ships, the vessel doesn't pivot in between trips across the lake. Instead, the front side of the boat, the bow, becomes the back end of the boat, the stern, and vice versa.
We're always going forward. The Bemis Point Stowe Ferry never goes backward.
Although Interstate 86 now allows for a speedy trip across the lake,
there's still an enjoyment of being able to connect over there with a slower way of looking at life.
the vessel also serves as a reminder of good times for many people.
That was part of the summer as you rode the ferry.
A ribbon cutting, rededication, and blessing over the boat happens Friday before the watercraft will be open to the public Saturday from 11 to 9. Rides are free, although donations are highly encouraged, as it's the sole source of funding for the group.
If you give me 50 cents, I'll thank you. If you give me $5, I'll thank you. If you give me $50, I'll probably give you a book that we have.
Jason Ruttman, WNY News Now.
Jason, thank you. To learn more about the ferry and the volunteer group that runs the craft, you can visit bemispointstoweferry.org. It's really great to see that back in action. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Good to see Wendy, Jessica, Bill, and good to see John, Beth, and Joseph as well. Wendy chiming in here. She says, I loved going to that ferry when I was a kid. Same here. In fact, I have vivid memories. It'd probably be within the last maybe 15 years of sitting down with my grandpa, Dakota, and riding across that ferry in his car. And when you think about it, there is so much history there. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, for years, the ferry was the only way to get across Chautauqua Lake before they built the bridge, which was completed in 83, 84, somewhere around that time frame. So, I mean, even though a lot of people take I-86 across the Chautauqua Lake Bridge now, or the Veterans Memorial Bridge as it was renamed, I mean, the ferry still has a lot of history to Bemis Point, and especially to this area. And I can say I've never ridden the ferry, but that's something that I think I would definitely like to do at least once in my lifetime.
Hey, this weekend here it's going to be pretty nice for a drive around the lake. So
yes. Well,
No.
if you consider rain to be nice, but it's something that we need. As you take a live look over from Findlay Lake, you can see the raindrops have fallen out there right now. And yeah, it's pretty much widespread all over. It's all over across the area right now. It's generally light rain as of this area, but we do notice a few heavier returns across Lake Erie, kind of moving to the northeast. So there will be a chance for at least a couple heavier showers this afternoon, but the majority of this is light rain. 61 was the high yesterday. Our high temperature, by the way, has already occurred today. The high was 56. We're sliding all the way down through the 40s today. 49, that was the official low temperature today. 89 and 31 are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon, wind-driven rain showers. It is breezy out there, rather cold for this time of the year. Highs have already occurred. We're dropping to the lower 40s across all of the region with a northwest wind 15 to 25 miles per hour. Now we bring in more rain tomorrow, drying out Sunday, plus Monday. Looking nice for Memorial Day itself. We'll talk about it in full detail with that 7-day forecast later in the show.
All right, Dakota, thank you. Well, employers aren't allowed to refuse paid sick days if people feel ill after getting a dose of the COVID-19. That's the word from Governor Andrew Cuomo, who says the state's labor department will issue guidance that's going to make it clear that employees can take a paid sick day to recover from the rare but potential side effects of the shot. Nearly half of people who responded to an April survey by the Foundation of New York City said they're concerned they might need to miss work if side effects of the vaccine make them sick for a day or more.
Again, I don't want to suggest that there are going to be side effects, because it's relatively de minimis. But if that's an issue for you, that issue is resolved. You won't miss a day's pay because of getting a vaccine.
People have reported fever, chills, nausea, and a sore arm, along with fatigue and headache after receiving a dose of the shot. Well, some 10% of people listening right now likely have had COVID-19. That's according to Johns Hopkins University, which is reporting more than 33.2 million reported cases in the U.S. as of now. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says those reported numbers are likely an undercount. The agency believes the actual number of infections is closer to 115 million, or 1/3 of all Americans. Official counts are highest in North Dakota, Rhode Island, and South Dakota. They're lowest in places like Hawaii, Vermont, and Oregon. Now, the Biden administration has set a goal of administering at least one vaccine dose to 70% of the nation by the 4th of July. Next here, the latest drug bust by Jamestown police could have 6 people facing charges. And later, we go live to the Chautauqua County Humane Society in our Pet of the Week segment. Stay with us as WNY News Now rolls along on this wet and rainy Friday.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Honest John's has what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
Have the best summer ever with endless adventures at Girl Scout Summer Camp. Financial aid available, open to all girls. For more information, call or go to gswny.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
6 people, including a wanted man, were arrested following a drug raid in Jamestown this week. The Jamestown Police Department says investigators executed a search warrant at 1007 North Main Street around 2:20 yesterday afternoon. Inside that house, they say 6 people were detained, including 49-year-old Christopher Howie, who is wanted by the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office. While searching the apartment, police say they recovered 30 grams of fentanyl, 30 grams of crack cocaine, Suboxone strips, drug packaging material, and a digital scale. Police say charges against the other people detained are expected at a future date and time. Their identities were not released. Well, President Biden says he will meet with Republican senators next week to discuss infrastructure. This after Republicans presented their $928 billion offer to his $1.7 trillion counterproposal. As Caitlin Collins reports, the White House says they will consider the Republicans' latest offer on the table.
These are generational investments. Private sector does not make these kind of investments.
President Biden underlining his push for a sweeping infrastructure plan in Cleveland.
The United States of America is viewed to have the 13th best infrastructure in the world. Come on. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
But in Washington, the White House and Republicans are still deeply divided and attempting to salvage negotiations.
We believe that this counteroffer delivers on what President Biden told us, sticking to core physical infrastructure.
Republicans today releasing a $930 billion counteroffer that would provide $260 billion in new spending, a fraction of what Biden wants in his latest $1.7 trillion offer. Instead of raising taxes on corporations, Republicans want to pay for the infrastructure plan by repurposing COVID-19 funds.
I would say to President Biden, this is something that will work. It will help the country, it will help us move forward.
Press Secretary Jen Psaki quickly dismissing that.
We think there are better ways to pay for it, and we think people should have a full understanding of what that is proposing.
The president is under pressure from his party to move on from talks with Republicans.
It's an old expression, fish or cut bait.
Biden setting another meeting with top GOP negotiator Senator Shelley Moore Capito while warning the window for talking is closing.
She's going to contact me next week. I told her we have to finish this really soon, but we're going to have to close this down.
Amid the tense talks, President Biden is also preparing to unveil his budget.
Can you confirm the top line number?
Well, we'll confirm that. That'll all be distributed.
Caitlin Collins reporting, thank you. Biden is expected to propose a $6 trillion budget today that would send the U.S. to the highest levels of federal spending since World War II. Well, Republican senators have delayed passage of a massive bill designed to increase American competitiveness with China. And that means a key procedural vote on a bill to form a commission to investigate the January 6th Capitol breach has been delayed until later today. The timing of the vote to create the independent panel is still unknown. That's because it's unclear how long Republicans will drag out the fight over the previous bill. Once the U.S. Innovation and Competitive Act has been voted on, the Senate would then move to January 6th commission bill. For that bill to move forward, at least 60 senators will have to vote yes, which is not expected. The bill has already cleared the House of Representatives. Well, after a delayed original premiere, A Quiet Place Part 2, which has parts of the movie filmed here in Western New York, premieres this weekend at cinemas nationwide. Although the opening date was originally scheduled for last March, the pandemic pushed it until now. David Daniel with a preview of what moviegoers could see this weekend.
The terror continues for the Abbott family in a world ravaged by creatures who hunt by sound in A Quiet Place Part 2. Franchise newcomer Cillian Murphy says he especially enjoyed his intense scenes with returning star Millicent Simmons.
Because she's an extraordinary performer, an extraordinary actor, and just a really beautiful person.
Simmons, in turn, has high praise for writer-director John Krasinski.
John, as a director, has the mindset of an actor, so he doesn't come in as like other directors. He doesn't tell you like a dictator what to do. He's willing to explore. He opens it up to a conversation to say, what would you do in this situation? What are your feelings? What are your reactions?
Co-star Jaimin Hansu says even filming got scary.
If the moment and the environment is so like well created for you to be scared, yes, it does get spooky.
Mom, Mom! Oh my God!
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
David, thank you. Lakewood Cinema 8 is screening this film. They might be screaming, starting Friday at 1 and running until 9:30 when showtime's continuing well into next week. Ooh, I don't know. I've never been much for scary movies, although this seems more like a thriller than a jump scare type of thing, although I'm sure they're probably packed in there. Let us know what you guys think about this and more in the comments down below. Good to see Amy, good to see Chip, Linda, and Amanda. Hopefully you all are having a great Friday. I know last month at this time, when the Dipson Theater here in Lakewood opened, Dakota, everybody was really excited and looking forward to this film because parts of it shot here in Western New York, even in Chautauqua County, and we don't always get that kind of attention. But when it comes here, I imagine that the films will turn out great. It'll be interesting to see how it works in. Like, can we recognize those places? I wonder.
Well, I've seen like screen grabs of like, some of the parts of the movie that were shot here. And it's like, they shot some of it up around the Buffalo area. Right. And one of the scenes I think that they're using is the two span of the Grand Island bridges that goes over Grand Island. And so if you see the two truss bridges, those are the Grand Island bridges that connect Grand Island across the Niagara River. So because I know that they used that. I knew that they used a lot of shots in and around Buffalo.
Right. And I believe North County, too, in one of the harbors that are up there as well. So it's pretty cool to see that they're having this film premiere, and it's a long time coming because everything's been ready to go. And in fact, those interviews that David used in his report were from the previous movie premiere, which was just I believe last year at this time, right before everything shut down, is when they did that and pumped the brakes on it. But nevertheless, it's almost like we're kind of picking up where we left off because people couldn't go to theaters.
It's sort of like those part 2 of the TV series, like to be continued next week.
Right, exactly. Or in this case, next year.
Yeah, so. In another 365 days, we'll pick up the story.
Little did we know. Well, a lot of people looking forward to this weekend, although I know we're going to be combating a little bit of rain, especially out there today, but I hear it's much needed liquid.
Yes, it is. Now, if you take a look at the past 7 days for rainfall, it's been hard to find around here. The only day over the past 7 where we've had measurable rain at the airport was on Wednesday, where we had almost a quarter-inch worth of rain. I mean, if you remember on, I believe it was yesterday's show, we were all crazy about the quarter-inch worth of rain because it's the first time we've seen rain in about 1 or 2 weeks here. And yeah, we've got the rainfall falling out there today, which is well needed. Your lawns, thank you for it as well. Hey, something that happened last night, which was very interesting, was a 2.4 magnitude earthquake near Leechworth State Park. And believe it or not, it is not uncommon to get earthquakes around here. You can see it occurred at just a little after 8:40, and the earth depth is 2.3 miles. And what happened here is there's actually a set of fault lines that run right through the area. It's called the Clarendon-Linden Fault System, and this is where the fault lines are. It runs basically from Lake Ontario all the way down through western New York, and the fault lines kind of end right around the northern section of Allegheny County. And these fault lines mainly stay quiet, so that's why we don't get a lot of seismic activity here, but most of the seismic activity that does occur is responsible for these fault lines right here. And the earthquakes tend to be very weak in nature, but most of our seismic activity occurs from these fault lines that run right through the area. So it's actually kind of interesting when you start seeing little earthquakes, that little jolt from those fault lines. Rain fall in downtown Jamestown right now, 45. That's down from our high of 56 today. Healthy northeast wind of 16, got a wind gust of 22, and got a wind chill factor, 38. That's what it feels like when you step outside. Man, it is not feeling like spring at all out there. Rain showers abode on First Defense Doppler. It is all over across the southern tier. So if you're watching us right now and you're in Chautauqua, Cattaraugus counties, Warren County, Erie County, Pennsylvania, wherever you're watching us from, you've got rain. That's basically just the bottom line of that. And as we zoom the radar out, you'll see there's that cold front that moved through, several waves of low pressure attached to that front, and actually north of it up in Canada, there's some snow showers falling in parts of Toronto right now. Yes. So here we go with FutureScan. At least no snow here, but widespread rain throughout the day. We may mix in a few moderate pockets of rainfall and maybe a couple ice pellets as well. Not out of the question, we might get some grapple out of that as well. The rain continues overnight tonight. Now a change to the forecast for tomorrow. It looks like the rain is going to stay with us throughout much of the day on Saturday, but you'll notice that the rain will start to break apart as we go into Sunday. We may see a few light rain showers Sunday morning before it all tapers off for Sunday afternoon. So additional rainfall going from today all the way through Sunday morning. We could pick up over an inch of rainfall in some spots here. You'll see the model picking up about 1.6 there in Dunkirk. I think some of this might be a tad bit overdone, but you'll see at least, I think we'll pick up at least a good inch worth of rainfall, at least from today through Saturday. So the zone forecast, it's a stark comparison to where we were earlier in the week. If you know Tim McGraw, you'll know that song, She's My Kind of Rain, Like Love in a Drunken Sky, because that's what we've got today. How about the future? The next 7 days are coming up right now. 43 is where we're going to end the day today. 48 tomorrow, rain showers. A morning shower on Sunday, then we're up to 60. Memorial Day itself, nice, close to 70. We'll be at 70 Tuesday, and then a few more showers return for mid to late next week. We will take a break and be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. In our effort to help animals find a forever home, we're partnered with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in our Pet of the Week segment. Joining us live is Brian Papalea to talk more about this week's featured furry friend. And it looks like, Brian, we might have a good set of young felines to talk about today.
Yeah, we have quite a few kittens that have been coming in recently to the Humane Society. We had just yesterday, there was 2 moms and 10 kittens that came in. They'll be up for adoption soon. And we've got right now, I'm going to say 10 kittens in here. A few of them are just, they're heading up to our event at the Chautauqua Mall tomorrow. They're just getting ready for that trip.
Absolutely. And I know that opportunity, I think, really is important, especially, with the last year of not being able to have people maybe physically in. They say a Saturday afternoon, the family loads up and says, let's go get a kitten. They come down and they visit. Being at the mall, you're able to bring them to an open air space and show them off. How important is that partnership to be able to be in a public location like that?
Well, the partnership at the mall is fantastic because along with the adoption by appointment situation, it's also just a different traffic space, because we're all the way over here on Strunk Road, and to be in a little more kind of available to people up in Lakewood gives us that opportunity to reach that audience. And then something I will say, though, is with the cats specifically, we are continuing the Catter Day things that we've been doing on Saturdays, where from 11 to 3, folks can stop down without making an appointment and check out some cats and meet them. Little action going on in the background there.
It's always something, I think, happening with these little furry guys. Oh boy, it looks like I could just jump right in there and take a nap.
Yeah.
Anything somebody should know if they're gearing up to come down to the mall or even the Catter Day event tomorrow? What should they prepare if they do want to adopt an animal?
Well, if they're looking to adopt a kitten, it's just one of those things where adopting a kitten is a lot different than adopting an older cat because they're more adaptable to the situations, when it comes to kids and other animals and stuff like that. Just making sure they're ready to make that commitment. And when you come down, like say for Catter Day here at the shelter, you just call and say that you're here, and then there's the adoption application. And of course the conversation to make sure everybody's going to be happy and things are going to fit. At the mall tomorrow, it won't just be kittens. There's going to be kittens, some older cats, there's going to be a bunny, and there's going to be 3 dogs at last we knew. So that's going to be quite a grouping of animals up there looking for homes.
Absolutely. And I know you guys have an incredible website. It's chqhumane.org, where you can actually go in and see sort of a live look at who's available for adoption in many cases, read about the animals, see a picture, and if you see something you like, I imagine the whole point is to set up a time or go on a Saturday and see them for real.
Yeah, and what's really cool is when they're looking at the pets on the website, the adoption application is right below the pet's picture. So if you want to get that jump start on that, you just scroll down, fill out that application, and you're on a good start to get your pet.
Absolutely are. So again, to learn more about any of our friends, either the beautiful little kittens or some of our older felines as well, and dogs too, you can log on to chqhumane.org or give them a call if the website's not for you, 716-665-2209. So Brian, thank you so much for taking us on this tour this Friday ahead of the holiday weekend. I hope you have a great one, and good luck tomorrow with the events.
Thank you, Justin.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. A quick programming note for you. We are back Tuesday next week following the holiday weekend. Of course, news does continue, though, all weekend long with our weekend team. WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app is the place to be. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Please, while you're out and about, take a moment to recognize some of these brave American heroes who aren't with us today, because their great sacrifice for our great freedoms. We'll see you Tuesday.